minutes for folks to join on in for the Instagram Bootcamp. It is our final day. But if you are here for the first time, hi, welcome. You are going to have a fun time, I believe. I'm just going to give it a few minutes as folks join on in. Drop a hi in the chat. Let me know where you're joining in from. It is quite a nice day here in Fort Erie, Ontario, where I live. It is sunny and slightly chilly. And I don't know if it's Stockholm syndrome or what, but I've lived here for 12 years now, and I'm starting to like the cold. Went out with my youngest today. She's homesick from school. So we just dipped and bopped around, and it was quite nice. I don't know. And it's like, put on the sweater, be cozy, and be warm. I'm really enjoying it. So drop in the chat. Let me know where you're joining in from. Also, let me know if you can hear me. I have had audio issues all week long. And, technology has not been my friend, but that is okay. Hi, Ashioma from Alberta. Hello, welcome. Were you here all 4 days? Because your name seems very familiar, because I feel like you were here on day one for sure. Sarah, hi again. Gorgeous in Toronto as well. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. Sarah, y'all, does these, she's like an educator for crochet and knitting, and I keep picking on her because she like her business looks great. And Jemmy, my audio is weird again. I don't know what is going on. I have tried everything at this point. Is it better now? I feel like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Good. Um, Hopefully that's better. Hey, Jill from Philly. Welcome, welcome. Of course, Sarah. Honestly, your business is the easy one for me to pick on, so I may continue to do that today. We shall see. We shall see what inspires me as I go through the sessions today. Hopefully, my audio kicks in for you, but I sound like I'm underwater. This will have to be like SpongeBob edition. 3 days on a roll. Yay, Shioma. Okay, we are on day 4. You're here because you either want to revive your Instagram strategy, you feel like Instagram isn't working for you anymore, or because you're really ready to commit to Instagram. And so I'm really excited for today's session because we're tying in all of the pieces of everything we learned all week long. So today we're going to talk about the different elements of a social media sales funnel, specifically focusing in on Instagram. But y'all, I have examples today from all the platforms because for a lot of us, Instagram isn't even our primary platform. So I want to show you how this looks with our cast of characters. I'm going to talk about how to understand where your funnels could be leaking. I have looked at so many, hundreds and hundreds of Instagram accounts, and there are so many different ways that you can analyze if it's working for you. So I'm going to talk through the different elements today so that you can see how this is working for you. And I'll identify where you can focus in your time if you notice a leak and how to fix those leaks along the way. Hey, Jill from NYC, sunny and blue skies today. I love hearing that. And every single day of the challenge of this boot camp, I've been talking a little bit about my perspective on social media because I do think it's a little bit different than a lot of the traditional marketing advice. I believe that social media works in tandem with your other marketing efforts. In my opinion, social media, Instagram specifically, does not work in a bubble. Okay. It may have in the past. 10 years ago, when I first started really diving into my business and really becoming an educator in social media, there were a lot of people online who taught that like Instagram's all you need, Instagram and a PayPal link. You could, set up a PayPal link, be on Instagram, and that's your entire business model. And that may have worked back then. Here now and today, that is very, very challenging. It is almost nearly impossible to be able to do that on Instagram. And so when I think about using Instagram as a tool to grow your business, a lot of times you need other things in place. And so we'll talk about what those other things are today. Also, I believe that social media can be awesome and profitable. So while I'm saying on one side, Instagram and a PayPal link isn't all you need, I do still think media is such a powerful tool that can be an amazing for your business. And I say tool specifically because it's just one tool in your marketing toolbox, and it's not everything. Okay. Hey, ridiculous. sometimes does. Okay, let's set realistic expectations about social media sales funnels because sales funnels help you understand how your clients go from I don't know who you are to yes, I'm giving you all of my money and I'm telling all of my friends, right? And so when I think about social media, the realistic expectation of that journey takes time. Yesterday, I talked about how social media is a lot like dating. Yes, some people you can make eye contact, bada bing, bada boom, you're on your way. But for a lot of us, there's a wooing process that's involved. We like a little conversation. We like to meet you. We like to get to know you before we're like meeting the parents and going to Thanksgiving dinner, right? And so that expectation needs to be set with your clients and customers too. They're not going to lay eyes on your Instagram account and then suddenly want to give you all of their money. It takes a lot of time. Okay. All right. Growth is just math. Growth is just math. It's just math. Okay. I'm not a math girly, y'all. I will say this every single year because bless my bookkeeper and accountant's heart, I would not be able to do this without them. But I will say this growth is just math. A lot of times we focus too much on our feelings and we say, I feel like it's not working. Okay. We say, I feel like Instagram isn't working for me. I feel like my account isn't growing. And that feel like is just a feeling. You're just guessing at this point if it's working for you or not. You're not actually looking at the data. And so, me self proclaimed math, not my favorite thing type of person, will say I still love looking at analytics because it removes my feelings from the scenario and I can look at it with a little bit more of objectivity and go, this is working, that isn't working, let's fix it. All right. Every single day of the challenge this week, we are going through three components of Instagram Bootcamp. We'll talk about strategy, we'll talk about mindset, and then we'll talk about the habits that you need to really solidify this into your marketing systems. And I want to talk about measuring your success because I know I said I'm not a numbers girly, and I'm not. However, there are 5 different types of metrics that you can look at when you try to analyze if Instagram is working for you or not. Five, okay? 5 different types of metrics. And I'm going to go through all 5, but I want you to notice which of these you really focus on when you're looking at the success of your account. All right. So the first metric is community growth. Community growth. This is followers. Okay. We look at follower number a lot when we're trying to determine if Instagram is working for us or not. And it's just one of 5 metrics. And I do think it's one indicator of success. Okay. So if you see your follower number increasing, that is one indicator that you're doing some of the right things on your account. I will say it's a very small indicator and it's becoming less and less important over the years. I talked yesterday a lot about the power of discoverability and how a lot of the Instagram algorithms and all the social media algorithms are moving towards this discoverable model where follower number isn't quite as impactful because they're delivering your content to people who do not follow you. So you could potentially reach clients and customers consistently without them having to follow you. But it is one metric of success. The second metric you want to look at is impact. Impact. So when I talk about impact, I'm talking about things like views, impressions, and reach. How many people are actually looking at your content? Okay. When I'm auditing accounts and I go into the metrics and people say, oh, I'm not getting a lot of likes and comments. And then I look at the actual views on the video and I'm like, well, this video only got 13 views. So we really can't expect, like 25 likes and comments. That doesn't make any sense, right? And so you want to take a look at impact here as well. To me, impact is more important than community growth. Okay. Impact is more important than community growth. I want you to make sure you're consistently seeing video views, impressions, and reach increase. Because if those numbers are increasing, that tells me you are consistently reaching new people. And so there's a higher potential of new people discovering you, coming into your community, your audience, and becoming those buyers and super fans that we all want. The third metric to look at is engagement. Engagement. To me, this is one of the least important metrics, especially public engagement like likes and comments. They're great. They can foster a lot of goodwill and really build a community atmosphere around your content. But if you're looking at if your post is successful or not, I want you to skip over likes and comments and look at shares and saves. Okay, shares and saves. When you're on Instagram and you look at the post level or at the account level at shares and saves, this will be a higher indicator of interest. And Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, said this year specifically that shares to direct message is the number one metric that the algorithm looks at to determine if your post is successful. So if someone's sharing your post specifically in a direct message, the algorithm goes, I need more people to see this. So that's the metric that we want to look at over likes and comments. The fourth metric is intent. Intent, specifically on Instagram, this is huge because we don't have links in our posts, right? We don't have clickable links in Instagram posts. We all say what? Click the link in the bio, right? So how many of you are actually looking at your post metrics and seeing how many people looked at this post and then went to look at your profile and click the link in the bio? Those metrics are there, okay? So if you're saying, for instance, people say this to me all the time, Andrea, I'm looking at my Instagram posts and they're not converting. I go to the individual post, I look at the metrics for that post and I go, look, nobody even went to that profile, much less click the link in your bio. So let's take a look at this post specifically and see how we increase conversions on the post. And usually it's people were too busy, they scrolled away, it wasn't interesting enough, et cetera, okay? So look at the intent of the post as well. And then lastly, conversions. A lot of times conversions happen off Instagram. So you're looking at your website analytics, like Google Analytics, something like that, to really see if people are converting, right? What I want you to take away from this, though, is that the metrics you track should match the intent of the content. Okay? The metrics should match the intent. If you say, click the link in my bio, don't expect people to like and comment because you asked them to click the link in the bio. If you ask a question in your post and you want people to like and comment, then you can expect likes and comments, okay? And at that point, you can see if the post itself is successful, if someone's matching the intent of that post. And this is where the social media sales funnel comes in because each post plays a different role in the Instagram sales funnel. So y'all are going to have to hang with me while I nerd out a little bit about the sales funnel thing. What even is a sales funnel though? Let's start at the beginning. The sales funnel is simply the path your social media followers take from I don't know you to I want to share this with all of my friends. Okay, it's just a path. That path can be shorter or longer for different people. I always say it's a lot like any sort of relationship or friendship. Sometimes you meet someone and there's like an instant connection and it's great. And then sometimes you meet someone and it takes you a while before you click, or it just ends up being casual and it never really goes farther than that. Everyone is different. And I think sometimes when we're on Instagram, we just assume every single person who likes our post is the one, the only. They will definitely become a client or customer. And that's not always the case. All right, so let's look at our cast of characters. I have two new characters to introduce to y'all today. I'm so excited about this. If you are in the Mindful Marketing Lab, we have a quiz that will go through all of the characters so you can see which one is you. I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Come on and join us before the doors close at the end of this month. We are in our farewell to the lab. I'll talk more about that at the end of the session. But for those of you who are in the lab, you will get the quiz with the homework today. All right, so first up is Kanisha. Kanisha is our leadership coach and therapist for leaders, okay? She works in corporate America. She takes people from like mid-level management up to, the C-suite level. And Kanisha's focus is actually not on Instagram, y'all. Kanisha is a video person, so she's all about YouTube, and she just uses Instagram as a way to repurpose her YouTube videos. Okay, so it's important to know where Instagram lies in the hierarchy of things for her because it's not even her primary platform. And I think it's important for you to decide as a business owner where Instagram lies in your hierarchy as well. For a lot of us, it is not our primary platform. Okay, it's Kanisha. She's a YouTube girly through and through, and she repurposes those videos over to Instagram. For Aria is a website template shop owner. She is Instagram first, okay? She posts all of her stuff on Instagram. She lives and breathes Instagram. She also does a lot on Pinterest, but her community is on Instagram. Then we have Darius. Darius is an operations assistant for dentists, and he likes Instagram, but he doesn't post a lot. He's actually mostly on Facebook, some on LinkedIn. Instagram is kind of like personal for him, but sometimes he'll, share some content and connect with his clients there as well. Marisol is video first and foremost, but short form. Short form. She prefers TikTok, but she'll also post to Instagram Reels as well. She owns a bakery that is very locally based. Okay? She's a local business owner. And then lastly, we have Santi. They're an artist and an educator, lots of creativity, mostly on YouTube as well, but uses Instagram as a portfolio. And their funnel is about getting people into their Patreon. Okay. So let's talk about the different elements of the sales funnel. But first, we're going to prepare. This may be familiar from day one of our session, if y'all remember. So our prep phase of the funnel is all about understanding your buyer. What do you sell? Who is it for? And why does it matter? Remember those 3 W's from day one? We're really going to help people understand what it is we even do. Because if we can't answer those 3 questions just by looking at your account, we got to start there. Okay. What do you sell? Who is it for? And why does it matter? So let's look at Kanisha's phase, this phase where she's preparing and making sure that everything is optimized. Remember, she's leadership coaching. She does corporate workshops. And so her 3 W's are leadership coaching. What do you sell? Who is it for? HR leaders who want to support their teams. And I want you to notice here, we're looking at psychographics, not demographics. Okay. She's not saying, let's say, people ages 35 to 60 who live in Atlanta, Georgia, right? That's a demographic. She's looking at psychographics, HR leaders who want to support their teams. That could be anyone. And then her why does it matter is really focusing in on creating healthier workplaces for everyone. Okay. Her clients are overwhelmed by the endless demands. They want to feel confident in leading. They want to do this without sacrificing their energy. And Kanisha gives them permission to slow down, to set those boundaries, to create a healthier workplace. So she's probably going to have that in her bio. Her last step is her one-on-one executive coaching. Okay, that's her goal. But on Instagram, she's not saying, buy my coaching, buy my coaching, buy my coaching. This is not one of those late night commercials where you're just trying to hawk all your stuff and say, buy now. This is not that. She's going to talk about her next step. She's got an executive insights PDF. And so she's going to talk about this in her content. Okay. And she's not the type of person who's like out here twerking and dancing and lip syncing. She's just going to, in a no fluff, professional way, say, if you're struggling with boundaries, here are the 3 leadership boundaries everyone needs. Click the link in my bio to download it. Okay? Very clear action steps for her people. All right, if you relate to Kanisha, let me know in the comments, and then I'll keep moving on to all of the characters. I would love to know which ones y'all relate to the most. All right, so now that we've prepared for our sales funnel, let's talk about the first phase in the sales funnel. This is the attract phase. The goal in this phase is just to get new people looking at your stuff, okay? That's it. That's the goal. So our focus is to get new people aware of our products, our services, and our offers. How we do this is consistently reaching new people. Okay, and I'll talk about this in a sec. And what you're going to look at to see if this is successful is impressions, reach, video views, and profile visits. Okay. So when we think about if this is successful or not, we want to look at, are we reaching new people? Are people even watching our stuff? Are people viewing our profile? When people say I'm not getting more followers, this is the stage right before that. To get more followers, you have to meet new people. So on Instagram, what does this look like? Our entire session yesterday was about this. You're posting Instagram Reels regularly because remember, Instagram Reels is discoverable content. Instagram Reels are actively going out to new people. Even doing things like Instagram trial reels, which a lot of people keep testing and saying, post all these trial reels, those go out to new people. So that's something to consider. Instagram ads can help you reach new people. Carousel posts in some instances are also going out to new people. But if you're posting that one photo or graphic to your feed, you're not reaching new people. You're reaching the same people you've been consistently reaching. So it's an unrealistic expectation to say, I'm not reaching any new people when you're not doing anything to reach new people, right? All right. So carousel posts to some extent, reels mostly. So make sure you're posting reels consistently and then actively participating in your community. Okay. I showed y'all yesterday the screenshot of a comment that got 11,000 likes for me. That's how I reached new people. 11,000 people who didn't know me saw my name and liked my comment. All right. All right. So let's take a look at what this looks like for Aria. So Aria is our website template shop owner, and she's very trendy. She loves a good trend. But here's where she shows up the most: Instagram, top for her. She's posting reels all day long, before and afters. She's doing runs of designing websites. She's doing reels where she's put B-roll over it and put 3 mistakes beauty brands make with their website. She'll even post some carousel posts when she's launching new templates and things like that. But she's reels and templates all day long. She also repurposes a lot of the over to Pinterest. Okay, so while Instagram is her primary platform, I want you to understand her marketing ecosystem goes beyond Instagram. She's also posting on Pinterest, her bold branded graphics, some of those reels she's repurposing, and Pinterest links directly to her template shop. She's also really big on collaboration, specifically collab reels with her clients. Okay. Darius seems like a cool guy. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us are Darius, honestly. I feel like I relate to him. I'm more of a Kanisha with an edge. Yeah, I like that. Um, Aria is the collaboration person. So her ideal client is like a makeup artist, a skincare brand, a beauty influencer. So every time they're using her website or showing her website, she's going to try to collaborate with them. She's going to use SEO as well on her Instagram, on her Pinterest, and on her website for things like websites for beauty brands. Okay, so you see how Instagram is just one piece of her attract phase. So here's what she's going to post: visual proof, bold POV statements. And if she's seeing if it's going to work, she's going to look at things like reach. She's going to look at profile visits, and she's going to look at referral traffic on her website. When she sees that people are coming in from Instagram, from Pinterest, from SEO, then she knows she's attracting people. And she probably has her website optimized so that every new customer gets some sort of coupon if they enter their email address. All right. If you are a digital or physical product-based business, you're studying Aria's playbook. Okay. All right. That's the attract phase of the funnel. Let's move on to the build phase of the funnel. I'm just going to drink some water. All right. Build phase of the funnel. Our goal in this phase is to build trust with our current audience and get them engaging with your content. This is dating. Okay. This is the dating phase, right? We're talking, we're getting to know each other, we're finding out if we like the same things. So, this whole goal is what you should be focused on. This is the most visible part of Instagram as well. And so, when I think about auditing people's accounts, they oftentimes want me to start here. They're like, Andrea, analyze my content, but I'm going back 2 steps to seeing if they have their 3 W's and if they're attracting new people. Okay. If you have your 3 W's and you're attracting new people, now you're going to work on nurturing those connections through sharing your knowledge, your expertise, or your influence in your content. And you'll notice that this is working if you see things like follower numbers increasing. You're getting more likes and comments. You see those shares and saves coming in. People are visiting your website. They're clicking the link in the bio. They're signing up to be on your email list. All right. And so when we think about the build phase of the funnel, we spend so much emphasis on this phase, and it's warranted in some cases. But I want you to take this with perspective of everything else that's happening in your funnel. All right, so let's look at Santee as an example. Reminder: Santee is an artist. They're um, very, very much into the education side of artistry. And Santee's goal is to nurture and inspire their followers. They want to turn those followers into email subscribers and community members, specifically on their Patreon. And so they're going to take their workshop snippets from YouTube and repurpose those over to Instagram. They're going to also post things like work in progress. Here's what I'm working on today. They're going to share behind the scenes content. They're going to talk about sign up for my free mini workshop. And maybe the mini workshop is how to draw loose florals without overthinking it, or the first step you need in, I don't know, somebody say something artistic. Y'all can tell I'm not an artistic person. Charcoal artistry. That's the next step for Santi. And then all of the conversions happen in their email nurture sequence. We'll talk about this in the conversion stage of the funnel. But all the call to actions in that email sequence are to join the Patreon. All right. So you can see for Santi, the metrics that they're going to track are people watching all of these videos, right? What's the opt-in rate to the free workshop? And are people replying to the content? Are they sending DMs like, I really liked the workshop, or thank you so much, or how do I find more information? When Santi sees that those things are happening, they can really understand if Instagram is working for them. People are laughing at me. I can't do that kind of romance language about art either. Yeah, there we go. The technical elements of art are not my forte, but you know what? We're rocking it all with it. Okay. Look at my notes here for Santi. All right. Let's move on to the convert phase of the funnel. This is the phase that we all focus on. That's why we're on Instagram in the first place. I know a lot of you here are in a situationship with Instagram. You like love it some days and then you're like annoyed by it the rest of the time. It feels like it's drawing you back in with those random notifications that your posts are successful. Then you open the app and you're doom scrolling, and then you're like, why am I here? I want to delete this. I don't want to be here anymore. All right. But then we're drawn back in because we have great conversations, or we know that it's converting for us at some level. And so I want us to think about the convert phase as proof that it's working, but I want us to take a look at this in a number of different ways, because 9 times out of 10, the conversion isn't happening on Instagram, it's happening off Instagram. All right. But in the convert phase of the funnel, we're looking at getting the sale. Easy, simple. We're encouraging people to buy now, and we're looking at success metrics. I will say for a lot of us, and for me included, conversions happen in email. And I did a workshop earlier this year called Big Inbox Energy, where I talk about how I use my email to convert. I'm going to put the link to that in the chat if you want to check it out. If you're in the lab, don't check out because you already have it. Okay, so lab members, y'all already have it. But if you're not in the lab, that's how you can get Big Inbox Energy, where I talk about how to take all of those leads and convert them into paying clients and customers. That being said, I do see conversions from 2 areas of Instagram specifically for me. One is Instagram stories. And I think we talked about this on day 2 of the workshop. When I look at Instagram stories, I can see every time I post a link how many people click. And sometimes I'll run tests of specific products just to make sure that that product is converting. I did this with my digital brain product, where I posted it just in my stories. And so I knew the sales that came in that day, because that product isn't in any other of my funnels. So I knew the sales that came in that day came specifically from Instagram stories. But in order to convert an Instagram stories, like my Instagram stories, y'all are like my OGs. Like when I post the stories, y'all reply. We're in it, especially when I post Gibson. Like Gibson is like, y'all are hungry for him because he's adorable, right? And so I'll post to my stories very regularly, and then occasionally I'll post a product to my stories and y'all buy it, right? And so that is one place where you can see conversions on the app. The second place is broadcast channels. Now, I talked about this on day 2 as well. I'm not a fan of broadcast channels, but I see that it works for my clients in specific verticals. Like Sarah, I'm going to pick on you again. I think broadcast channels can potentially work for you because your people are hungry for the things that you have to offer. And so it could be interesting for you, especially since you're more of a writer than a video person, to share like the blog posts that you create, little tips and tricks and tutorials in broadcast channels. I see that working very well for a lot of people. One of my clients, Cara Lowenthal, who's a life coach, did really well with broadcast channels and would post basically a tip every Wednesday that oftentimes led to the podcast. But then anytime she was launching, we would also post a lot of the launch content as well, like the webinars, the freebies, and then of course the launch as well. Jill says, I love when I see Gibson napping in the background. Yes. Okay, y'all. The pillow is still here, but Gibson, he's 13 years old and he can't jump up on the couch anymore without help. So he's here, but he's like on a doggy bed over there because he's getting up there in age. Maybe I'll post him today. How about that? I'll post him to my stories today so y'all can get your daily dose of Gibson. All right, so let's move on to Darius's convert phase. Y'all love Darius. Darius, to me, he's like so chill. He will do what he needs to do to like get the job done, but he's not a social media person. His tone is very like calm, professional, supportive. He's not flashy. He doesn't want to be on video, but he just wants to support his dentist as a virtual support person. And so his goal for all of this is to close the sale. But to do that, he's going to make it very easy for his dentist by saying things like, book a free consult call. Okay. He'll even tell them to just send him a direct message or text him because he knows they're busy and he wants to make it as easy as possible for them to contact him. And he is the kind of person whose phone is always in his hand, anyways. He's happy to do that for his clients. And then after the consult call, he'll email them to follow up. He will share things like case studies. Here's a practice that had their operations fully revitalized by me. And then from there, he'll send them reminders. If you really want to get on my ops client list, please respond to this by Friday. Otherwise, I'll open up this opening to other people on my list. And so the metrics he's going to track are conversion rate, so how many people become clients, but he's also going to look at retainer length, making sure that they're the right clients, and he's going to look at referrals to make sure his clients are happy. I'm going to talk about this more in the next slide, but what I want you to really study here is that the sale isn't a one-time conversation, especially for someone like Darius, whose dental practices spend a lot of money with him. He knows that speed is of the essence. So if a dentist DMs him, he needs to respond quickly. And he knows that ease is of the essence. So me, for instance, I don't like surprise phone calls. Okay. So I will almost never volunteer that. If you call me surprise and I answer, I like you. Let's just put it that way. Otherwise, I don't answer my phone. It just makes me feel very anxious. And so for me, my sales process usually looks like I need to have the call in my calendar so that I can mentally prepare for it. And then we can talk and it's fine. And so Darius, on the other hand, he's like, call me, text me anytime. His clients appreciate that about him. My clients appreciate that about me. I also love video calls so that I can read facial expressions. That's just me. Darius is like, I don't need a video call. Text me, call me on my cell. Okay. But let's talk about the advocate phase because you'll see at the bottom, one of the metrics that Darius was looking at is referrals. And this is slept on, okay? This is slept on. Jill says, same for me. I felt anxious too. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like a surprise phone call. Yeah, no. Okay, advocate phase of the funnel. This to me is the most important part of your marketing because it feeds back into the attract phase of the funnel. And where I see a lot of people burn out is they spend so much time on the build phase and maybe even the convert phase of the funnel that they're not spending enough time delivering an amazing product, service, or offer. And so their referral network is dry. Okay. They deliver the product to their clients and it's crickets. They try to attract new people. They're constantly trying to attract new people, but then they drop the ball on those new people who come in and get maybe a mediocre service or even worse, a terrible service, and then they have to spend doubly the amount of effort attracting new people, okay? When I was building my agency before I sold it last year, my number one like, I'm very proud to say my number one way that I got new clients was through referrals. Like, yes, I hustled in the beginning to attract new business and to build and convert, but I didn't have to hustle so much, near the end because I had built an amazing referral network. My clients, even when they ended our services with us, would still email me business and say, "Hey, I know we're not working together, but I this other person said they were looking for social media services, and I know you'll do a good job," right? We want that. We want people to tag us on social media. We want people to say, "Oh, you wanna learn Instagram? Go to Andrea," right? This advocate phase of the funnel is key to your business. So we want to focus in on delivering an amazing product, service, or offer with an excellent experience. I should have underlined excellence here because I think a lot of us aren't doing excellence. Hard truths, y'all, hard truths today. We've got to deliver an excellent experience. So oftentimes my clients, what I'm saying is I can do, like, oh, I'll deliver this on Thursday and I'm sending it to them on Wednesday. And then they go, oh, I'm surprised that I got it early. Okay? I knew it was Wednesday, but I said Thursday to give myself a buffer. That's excellent experience. For a lot of my clients, I would mail them physical mail birthday cards. Okay. Excellent experience, the small touches. So I want you to think about what that experience is and then remind people to share it. One of the things I used to do as well with my new clients, I onboard a new client, they pay me, thousands of dollars. And then I noticed there was like a gap of time between like they pay me thousands of dollars and then I'm giving them a deliverable. And so what I would do is I would mail them a gift. Usually it was flowers, or it could be like a DIY cookie making kit, or it could be like a at home spa kit. Like I would again physically mail them something, and 9 times out of 10, they're snapping it, putting it on Instagram, and tagging me. All right? And so we're thinking about or giving people excuses to share their experience, even right from the get-go. And so you notice this when people are tagging you, when you get reviews, when you get user-generated content. All right? You'll notice this, and even I'll put the link to the lab again in the chat. If y'all go to the lab sales page, you will see videos and written testimonials from my clients and customers because as they go through a product, every single product I have at the very end, it says, "Hey, did you like this? Leave me a testimonial. If you didn't like it, here's a feedback form," right? And I have it in my email sequence as well because I know my business thrives off of referrals. All right. So, oh my gosh, where did my slide go? Okay. Marisol, she's a local business owner. Okay. So she has a really beautiful community around her. And so she knows that delivery comes first. She knows she has to have an amazing product that her clients like to share with everyone else. Because as a bakery, right, you have to have a good product. You have to. If you don't, then people won't come back and they won't tell their friends. And so she does these advocacy sparks where she has little signs by the register that says, "Snap your treat and tag us for a chance to be featured." Or maybe even the chalkboard out front has like today's flavor. And then there's a challenge that says, "Show us your first bite face." So UGC prompts, she has Google reviews, little cards that she puts, especially in her to-go orders. That's like, "Loved your sweet treat. Leave us a quick Google review. It helps more locals find us." Maybe even putting a QR code in there to help people. She'll spotlight other community members as well, reposting clients, tagging her customers, maybe even doing a customer of the month shout out. These are all things that can help. She has a punch card. Sometimes she says, "Bring a friend, 2 for 1 cookie, buy one pie, get the second off for free, get the second 50% off," whatever the case may be. And so she's looking at the number of reviews per month. If she goes to her Google reviews, so she'll be able to see, oh, every single month we get 2 to 3 reviews. If there's a month where she gets 0, she's gonna ramp up her efforts to get Google reviews. If there's a month where she gets 10, she knows she's on the right track, and now 10 is the new metric. She's gonna look at social media tags. She's a lot on TikTok and Instagram, and so she's just going to do this. Instagram makes it really easy to repost now with the repost feature. Easily, she can just tap repost, instant boost, share to her stories, another instant boost for her clients and customers who tag us. She's going to look at the number of referral redemptions. So with that punch card, she's tracking how many times people redeem the punch card. All right. This is a signal to her that our clients are coming time and time again. And then she's also going to look at seasonal sellouts. She knows if it's pumpkin spice season. If she posts pumpkin spice lattes on social media and then she's out of the pumpkin spice syrup by the end of the week, that campaign worked. All right. Okay. We talked about strategy. Let's move on to mindset because I feel like there's a lot of doubt gremlins, especially when it comes to the advocate phase of the funnel. And so one of the things I want you to think about as you're navigating, tying all the pieces together with social media and Instagram is believing in yourself, being confident. And this is a really important part of showing up on social media, especially for a lot of us in the chat. We are like solely running our business. When people call us, we're the one who answers the phone. When they come into our store, we're the one saying, hi, how are you? When they email us customer service response, we're the one, customer service question, we're the one responding. All right. For a lot of us, it's us. Okay. And we can kind of tell when someone's on social media and they're not confident in their offer. Okay. I'm not saying you have to be a confident person, but there's an energetic je ne sais quoi, that's about all the French I know, by the way, that comes with talking about your offer on social media. Sarah says waves and all pads. This takes practice. This takes practice. There's something called cognitive consistency. And this happens when people prefer that their beliefs and perceptions align with the brand. So as a brand, your self-presentation, if it's confident, we want to believe you. We want to believe you. And it establishes this harmonious perception with your community, right? And so when we think about watching confident people on social media, sometimes we just want to cheer for them because they're confident. And the body positivity wave showed us it doesn't matter what you look like, it's energy. It's how we feel when we consume your video. There's also this human psychology moment called emotional contagion. I did a whole TikTok series on this, but emotional contagion is that emotions can be contagious, right? If you're in a good mood and if you're happy, people feel that and they want to be happy too. If you're in a bad mood and you're like Eeyore, then people are like, woe is me, right? So when a brand communicates in a way that's impassioned and they believe in what they have to offer and they're enthusiastic about it, it evokes a similar experience with their community. If a brand comes on the video or whatever and writes a post that has a lot of negative connotations or negative words, then that can also be contagious as well. So you have positive contagion and negative contagion. Y'all guess which one my brand goes for? I'm more of the positive contagion, but there are brands who want to be negative, and like rage baiting content is an example of this. If you search rage bait BBC, y'all will see my BBC article where I was interviewed about rage baiting because there's this content that is designed to like make people angry, and that's negative contagion. Okay. But I want you to think about what experience you want your community to have when they interact with you. And then I want you to aim for that every time you create content. Sarah says, don't underestimate the power when people see someone who looks like them. I've gotten so many messages that thank me for showing my wheelchair/cane in the video shoots. Yes, because how often do you see a disabled model in fashion? Not often. Yes, Sarah. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all give Sarah like props for this because this is not an easy thing to do. And it's something that takes courage. And once she puts that courage out there, look how many people are appreciative of it, right? And so I think there's something there, especially here now today in 2025. Like we live in such a global world that we want to see all sorts of types of people, right? My first few shoots, I tried to edit out the chair and the cane, and it shows. It's just awkward. Yeah, absolutely. Accept who you are. Be confident in that, and other people will be attracted to the confidence, not exactly the everything elseness of it all. All right. Okay. Let's wrap this up with some habits. Habits. This is wrapping up everything that we talked about this week. We're talking about building in systems into your life so that you can do Instagram consistently. And a lot of this is why I start with strategy first, then mindset, then habits, because sometimes we understand the strategy, especially those of you like Jill. I know you've done this before. I've seen you in a couple of my challenges so far. You've been a member. You know this. You can learn the strategy. You can soak it all in, but you have to then go and do it in order to be successful. And I think that success is just your intention plus a micro habit. So micro habits, the commitments that you make to doing things on Instagram, micro habit. Then you have to have the intention and follow through to believe in yourself to do it. And then that's where success comes from. It's not stopping after posting once. It's not stopping after creating one campaign. It's learning from that and growing and moving onward. So here are the types of systems that I set up in my business. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Last year when I did this challenge, I had someone with ADHD come in and ask a bunch of questions about how to customize it for them. And this is the work that we do in the lab, which I'll talk about. I'm going to give you one example or an example or some things to think about, but all of this is customizable to you. All right, so I like to have a content creation space. This office is my content creation space. I know I work in social media, but y'all, I do not remember to take photos and videos when I'm out and about. Unless it's of my kids because they're adorable. So unfair advantage. But I went to a networking event recently, like the Chamber of Commerce's these BI5 Business After 5 events. And I said to myself, I need to take a video of this and post it on my stories. Did I take a video? No. Okay. So for me, I know most of my content happens in this content creation space. Everything else is bonus. If I happen to do it, yay. If I don't, whatever. You look at my Instagram and it shows most of my content is in this space. Second thing, implementation reminders. Okay. I have to remind myself to post to social media. I have to remind myself to check in on social media. Now, I use Asana for this. You can use whatever tool you want. Asana is just my task management tool. You can use ClickUp. You can use Notion. You can use Monday. You can use Trello, like whatever works for you. I use Asana. And I literally have a little reminder every day. And then I check it off, and the little unicorn does like a yay, like explosion of confetti and rainbows. And it makes me feel good. Okay, so I have to remind myself to do it every day. And then a monthly metrics recording method. I teach this inside of the lab. I use Airtable for this, tracking my metrics every single month. But another tool that I love that I'm going to start showing off more is Metricool. I'm putting my affiliate link in the comments right now. Metricool. It's great, y'all. I use it to look at my metrics for social media every single month. So I set a little reminder in my Asana. On the first of every month, I go in and I look, because oftentimes we feel like it's not working and we're not actually looking to see if it works. All right. So let's talk about these three things in a little more detail. So content creation habits, choose a day and a time that works for you. I usually create my content on Fridays for the following week. So I'll be honest with y'all, lately, it's a day-to-day scenario for me. Jemmy can attest to this if Jemmy's watching. I literally sometimes will text her and say, can you post this today? Because I forgot. Okay. But on a good week, I'm creating on Friday for the following week. Right. That's my habit that I have built in. And I aim for 80% of the time. Right. Not perfect. Human. Set a date with yourself so that you can commit to this habit. Notice as you check that box every single week, you'll build trust with yourself over time. And then you'll observe that your skill set is improving. Content creation is a skill, right? I think some of us go into Instagram and we go, I can do that. And then 2 hours later, we're frustrated with ourselves because we can't do that. Well, it just takes time to learn how to do it. I use Asana, I use Google Calendar, and I time myself for this. I did this recently in the lab with one of the members. We sat down in a co-working session together to create content. One video took me 45 minutes using the Instagram Edits app. One video. If it takes you that long, great. Like, I've been creating content since 2004, so the fact that one video takes me still 45 minutes is okay, all right? Then we have some daily check-in habits. Set aside 10 to 20 minutes each day to review your social media. That's 15 to 20 minutes per platform. Check all your messages, respond to all of your comments, do some outreach like we talked about yesterday. Comment, message, connect with people. I use Asana again for this, Google Calendar to time block, and a timer. Don't go over the 20 minutes. If you do, now you're just on your own time. And I find that the more time we spend on social media, the more frustrated we get, like as a business owner. So time yourself and give yourself parameters. And like I said yesterday, I worked with someone last year. She had ADHD. The timer did not work for her. She actually just chose to do it while she was watching Netflix. So 30 minutes Netflix show, 30 minutes on Instagram, done. All right, we want to track our monthly metrics. Set aside 30 minutes every month to review the metrics. This is important because you don't want to keep feeling like it's not working. If you feel like it's not working, you're not going to keep doing it. Why would you? We want to actually look if it is working and then make changes. And then this always surprises people. If in 90 days Instagram isn't working for you, it's time to move on. All right. Some people like go too hard on one tool. Maybe Instagram isn't it for you, for your business, for your model, for your style. Let's try a different one. There's so many. We have Facebook, we have Threads, we have TikTok, we have Blue Sky, we have Substack, we have YouTube. We have we have like podcasting. There's so many ways that you can reach new people and build your business. It doesn't have to be Instagram. Like obviously this is the Instagram Bootcamp. So I'm talking about Instagram, but I am platform agnostic. I don't go all in on one specific marketing platform. There's so many of them. So spend those 30 minutes every single month analyzing if it's for you. Look at the 5 different components of your metrics, fix your leaky funnel. And then if you've done all of that and you're still not seeing it work for you, it's time to move on. Make sure you're focused on the metrics that will bring you the most impact in your business as well. One time I was auditing an account for a divorce coach, and we were working on her content, and she kept saying, man, I don't get a lot of engagement. And I'm looking at her account like, hello, people aren't going to like type in the comments like I'm thinking about getting a divorce. Like that's not the way people use social media, right? If they are, they're going to quietly watch all of her videos and then probably stalk her content on maybe YouTube. She had a YouTube channel, or sign up for her email list, or like bookmark her website. Like there are other things we need to look at, like impressions, views, profile visits, and website clicks. Those metrics for her were way more important than likes or comments. People don't like and comment in that industry. So I want you to think about the metrics that'll bring the most impact in your business. And then again, use Asana, use Google Calendar, use a spreadsheet. You just need tools for success here. Use the tool that you're going to use. I talk about Airtable a lot because I love Airtable. Let me actually put my Airtable. I have an Airtable training. I think this is it in the chat. People always ask me, Andrea, I tried to use Airtable, doesn't work for me. Don't use it if it doesn't work for you. You can use a spreadsheet too. I'm not gonna be mad at you. All right, let's take some action. Y'all know, I don't want you just sitting here watching my beautiful face and saying, that's nice. I love that, Andrea, for you. No. We're going to actually take action here. So here now and today, I encourage you, type this in the chat. What's one habit that you're going to commit to that's going to help you track your social media achievements? Type in the chat. What's one habit that you're going to commit to? I want us to commit here now and today to doing one thing that's going to help us. For me, I have my little Asana task. Every single month, I go into my Metricool account and I take a look. Here's what's working on my website. Here's what's working on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok. And, I've noticed trends. For instance, I posted this recently on Threads. My Canva graphics, like design camp graphics that I love so much, y'all don't love them. People are not engaging with them on social media as much as they used to. And so I stopped posting them as much. Now I post more videos. People like the videos, they get more views, more engagement, more clicks. So yeah, that comes from that decision comes from looking at my metrics and not going all in on something that's not working. Jill says, Jill, congratulations to you. Jill's going to block time each Friday to plan the following week's social media content. I love that for you, Jill. Are you in the lab? Can I hold you to this? Feet to the fire? Can I follow up with you, Jill? I'm going to bother you and annoy you. I say this all the time with my members. Like, if you say you're going to do something, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to send you a message. I won't send you more than one, but I'll send you a message and be like, you said you're going to do this thing. Are you going to do it? And with love, with love. Jill says, I typically start drafting my social media for the following week towards the end of the previous week and finalize by Monday. I love that, Jill. Also, I just love your content in general. Y'all go check out Jill's stuff, all about like mindfulness and like um just like overall well-being with the internal stuff, the stuff that was so easy to neglect. Um, Jill says, bother me anytime. Your wish is my command, Jill. All right, Q&A time. So let's wrap up. Oh, we only have 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, I talked too much today. That's okay. And ask your questions in the chat. Sarah says, I'm going to try to batch and post more and use social media scheduling tools. Yay, Sarah. I believe in you. All right, in the chat, ask your questions. If this is your first time with me, I've got to remind you of my policy on questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. There's no such thing as a wrong question. There's no such thing as a question that's too silly. All questions are welcome. And in fact, you're doing me a favor by asking questions because I turn these questions into content, y'all. Yesterday's post on social media came from that session where I called social media booty calling. Like, y'all just want to like do the social media booty call. And a lot of times there's a little bit more to it than that. And so that came from yesterday's session. So ask your questions in the chat if you have questions. If you don't have questions, it is time. It is time to come on into the lab. Y'all, this is the last time I am going to be running the Mindful Marketing Lab. This is our last year. And so please come on in and join us if you want the full Instagram course. I also have courses on platforms like Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and Threads, email marketing, podcasting, Airtable, so much more. All of the templates, the swipe files, and everything. We even have custom GPTs in there now. I've got about 12 of them where I will fast track your process into all of this. All right. 50% off. Use code FAREWELL because it's our farewell tour of the Mindful Marketing Lab. And if you join us in the lab for this farewell tour, you will also get access to the thing that I'm making next, which I'm announcing on Black Friday. I'm so excited about it. You don't have to pay for it. Like if you're in the lab, you will get it. I'm beyond excited for it. It's going to be so cool. I can't say much about it yet though, but what I can say is if you join in for this particular boot camp, you will get Instagram audit. Tomorrow, I am auditing everyone's Instagram account. And I do this every year and it takes me so long. I love doing it though. And if you want my eyeballs on your Instagram, then join the lab. And I'm going to extend it too. I said I'm doing it tomorrow and I am doing all of them tomorrow, but if y'all submit your Instagram, I will just audit it if you're a member anyways. Live Instagram ad session on October 21st by Julie O'Hara. She's coming in. She's done our entire training inside. We have a whole course on ads that's done by Julie, but she's giving you the latest and greatest on Instagram ads next week, October 21st. So come in for that. Anyone who completes their homework, their daily homework, will get a one-on-one strategy session. I can already tell y'all, Jill's leading the way, right? Jill, you're leading the way to get your one-on-one strategy session, but you still have a chance to win everybody else. So go ahead and submit your homework. We also have daily support threads for accountability, and every single member who completes by October 31st their homework will get swag. I've got our social media rockstar planners for you. We've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, etc., etc. Okay. All right. Let me go back over to my questions. I totally lost the chat. Oh, y'all don't have questions. You're Instagram pros now. Your Instagram post, Jill. You're funny. Jill's gonna win. I already know because she's like on it, and I'm happy to do the one-on-one strategy. Jill, I think you won my LinkedIn one too a couple years ago. Because I remember doing a one-on-one with you, and also Jill was on the podcast, y'all. So make sure you listen to that episode too. All right. Y'all have been great. Thank you so much for joining me for the Instagram boot camp. Tomorrow, if you're in the lab, we're doing a special co-working session. I'm going to be auditing all of your Instagram accounts, so please come in and join us. I will email you and bother you all to join as well. If you want my emails, hold on, sign up here. If you just happen to see the live stream, make sure you go to onlinedragon.com/bootcamp so that you get the email reminders. I can bother you to join the lab. You'll also just get everything else that's happening in my world as well in that email. But I'll see y'all. Actually, I'm doing another live session later this month. So make sure you sign up for email so you get that information. All right. That's all for today. Bye, everyone.